everybody? Welcome back to Tavian's World of Reptiles. I hope you are all doing well and taking care of yourselves. Yes, I am wearing the same shirt as the last video. And that's because I am recording in the same day as that video. Because sometimes I do that, sometimes I just record a bunch of videos in one go, and then I'll upload them all in different periods of time, and sometimes I'll go the extra step and I'll actually change my shirt and make you think it's a different day. But regardless, it is the same day, so that is why I'm wearing the same shirt. Not that I really had to explain that. But anyway, so you know how we are all, we're on this hobby. We kind of makes this interesting. There's not a lot of people in this hobby. And when we're kind of that weird snake person or reptile person, in our group of people in the world. And so usually if people come across memes or pictures and stuff like that or videos, you're the very first person they think about. So we've all probably seen the same little cute videos, trending little memes and stuff like that. Cute little picture of the snake with the birthday hat on. We've all seen those. And so today I wanted to talk about one that I'm sure we've all seen. And I'm not so sure. It usually comes with a different picture, but it has to say it's one story on it. And I'm not sure if this story created this myth or if the myth created the story. But regardless, I'm talking today about that story and the myth that I am talking about. So, now the story goes, and if you've had this story, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to hear it again, but I'm doing it. So the story goes, there's this woman who has a snake, and she's lets this snake like free roam and sleep with her at night. And so she started doing this, and she noticed that her snake stopped eating. And so she took the snake to a vet, and the vet told her, after she explained what she's doing with the snake, that the reason the snake is not eating and is passing up all the meals that she's offering is because when it's sleeping with her at night, it's actually laying next to her to size her up, and in hopes of being able to eat her one day. And so this is why her snake was refusing all this other food, is because it wanted to get big enough to eat her. So this has obviously stemmed this belief that snakes, my mom says it all the time. I'm like, oh, that snake is sizing you up. People believe that snakes are sizing us up when it's like on our bodies or, sliding near us or whatever. I don't know. But people always are like, oh, that snake is sizing you up. It is a belief. I'm not sure if it comes from this story or if the story got like blown up from this myth. Either way, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it and I want to break it down because it's kind of a ludicrous story. And I think after I break it down in the way that I am going to, I think you'll all see how much more ludicrous the story actually is. So let's take this snake. Okay, so this snake who's being offered food regularly is denying it because it wants to eat this bigger prey, but it's just waiting for the opportunity to actually be able to do it. AKA, it's waiting to get big enough to eat this human that it is laying next to. Okay, so let's take this snake and we put it on out in the wild. Take the wild snake. Okay, so we're saying that a wild snake, which first of all is a wild snake, food is far and few in between as it is. It's hard to find food. But let's just say this snake's just having a great luck at coming across all these different rat burrows and rodent burrows and whatever the case, and yet it chooses to keep passing these burrows. Why is that, I wonder? Why is the snake passing up all these perfect opportunity to get perfect food? Like, why is it happening? Well, we go off of the story. This snake is currently stalking something bigger. Let's say, I don't know, a baby deer. Like it's wounded or something. It's a baby deer. And it is stalking this deer and it is just waiting for the opportunity when it is big enough to actually eat this deer. Now, we know that snakes grow from eating food. Okay, it's how they grow. Without food, they're not growing very much. It slows down drastically to not at all. So it's passed up several meals, and it's following this one very large meal, and it is like just going to wait until it's big enough to eat it, even though it's not eating anything else. Okay, so this is what's happening. And now, besides that, the snake is also managing to get close enough to this deer every day, every night, to slide up next to it, like, "Hey, dear, what's up? Hey, I'm just gonna lay next to you. I'm just gonna lay next to you real quick, right here, right here. Oh no, dang, I'm not big enough to eat you yet. All right, I'll try again next week." And this deer is just saying, "Yeah, what's up, snake? Yeah, you can hang out with me. Yeah, go ahead, lay up, lay up, lay up. It's cool, it's cool, it's cool." So the deer is just like all ready to be eaten. This is this is a breakdown of that story in a wild setting. So a big snake, a snake that's not really big yet, maybe it would be big, maybe it wouldn't. We don't even know. We don't even know what snake this person had. This snake has passed up prime opportunity for food over and over and over and over again in order to get a larger prey that it can't eat yet, lay next to it, and this prey is going to let this happen, measure it out night after night after night in hopes that it's going to be able to eat this bigger prey. This is this story in a wild setting. It is never going to happen. First of all, because snakes don't actually come across food that commonly in the wild, when they do, there is no passing up that opportunity. If it is something they can eat, they're going to eat it. They're not going to pass up this opportunity to continue to stalk a bigger prey that it can't even eat yet. Snakes are generally pretty smart and don't go after things that are bigger than themselves now, and when they do, the very rare occasion that has happened, they did not survive. And because of that, I think it is just inherent knowledge to know that's too big for me. I'm not going to eat it. But here's a perfectly good sized food, that feeding item that I can eat. I'm gonna go ahead and take this rat instead of keep chasing after this deer that I cannot and may never even be able to actually eat. So, that being said, let's go back to the story and talk about what is likely to be a thing that's actually happening. So, this woman has this snake that we know. We keep these enclosures. We have our heating pads and our substrates and our thermostats and our spray bottles. We have all this for a very specific reason, because these animals have very specific needs. And we do that in these little containers that we are keeping them in, as opposed to the wild. We recreate that in this smaller, but also should be large, environment that these snakes thrive in. We do that. We provide that for them for a reason. This woman has taken her snakes out of this environment, allowed it to free roam in a space that is not controlled for its needs, without proper heating units and any of that, humidity, whatever. So, the snake is likely, first of all, sliding up next to her, not to size her up, because snakes don't do that, but to get her body warmth, because it does not have access to any other heating unit, because she's allowing it to free roam. The snakes still need warmth and like straight up hot spots. And if there's not enough warmth in the air or an actual hot spot for them to go, they're going to go to the only source they can find, which was obviously her body. Not sizing up, trying to stay warm. Next, why was the snake not eating? Well, we know when husbandry things are off, our snake's best sign of something is wrong is that they will stop eating. Once your snakes stop eating, there could be something wrong. Now, this is not always the case. There's obviously reasons for why snakes stop eating sometimes, but a lot of times it's likely to be something to do with husbandry care. You can tell by the behavior sudden changes, and you can tell by the fact that they stop eating, which is of course a behavioral change. So when your snake stop eating, it's because something is wrong with their husbandry care. So why is her snake not eating? It's because it's roaming a room where the humidity is not right, the heating is not right, the overall husbandry is not right, because it's not its enclosure. So this is why this snake is not eating. Not because it's laying next to her every night to size her up, because its husbandry care sucks. It's not being met. And so this snake is doing whatever it can to get whatever it needs, using her body as heat and trying to just survive as best it can, and because it doesn't have its needs, it's not going to eat, and it knows that. It knows its body is not going to be able to metabolize food, right, because it doesn't have its proper heat. It knows itself is not in its proper environment, so it's not going to risk eating food. So snakes know what their bodies need, and they will adjust accordingly. And and you have to be able to pay attention to that. And obviously, this woman was not, and whoever her vet was is um, well, I'll keep that to myself. But regardless, I don't know if this is a fake story that was created, if it was an actual story, or what the case may be. It's ridiculous. If you are somebody who follows me on Facebook, please stop saying that to me. I've now addressed it. I thought I had gotten past it and I wasn't even going to address it, but I've addressed it now. Please stop sending it to me, and I'm still likely to get it in the future. I know that some of you out there have probably gotten it and heard it 1,000 times, and it's probably irksome. But and it's sad that we even have to keep doing this, because I feel like there are very clear things in that story that you know exactly what is happening with the animal and why it's happening, but people want to choose to believe this most radical thing of a snake sizing up its prey with its prey, allowing it to do that and all that. It's just ridiculous. So I'm rambling, gonna wrap it up. You guys take care, love yourselves, love your loved ones, love your reptiles, and you guys keep spreading those herbs.